Welcome back to part 6 of the Feedback Masterclass video series from Mote. So in part 6 of this video series, we're going to explore the benefits of audio feedback. So up to this point, we've been talking about and exploring the thinking and the why behind feedback, what quality feedback looks like, challenges that you might face, how to overcome those challenges, what impactful feedback looks like. But we haven't yet explored the real benefit of audio as a feedback medium and as a feedback mechanism. Traditionally, feedback is provided as text comments in the margin of an analog or paper document, or in a text comment in a Google document or a digital space. But audio feedback has been going back as early as the 70s, when educators were using cassette tapes to record audio and then have students listen back to that audio. But there's many challenges around that approach. The audio isn't tied specifically to an area within the document. It's hard to create context, and there's challenges simply with using that technology. However, there are tremendous benefits to audio feedback, particularly how Mote might allow us to create better feedback with audio than text might allow us to do. So let's get into it and explore a number of different domains and characteristics, exploring the benefits of audio feedback. So the first one is quantity. Now, this idea comes from the Weathers Report and educational impact of recorded audio feedback using Mote. So based on the Weathers Report, we have this information where Mote teachers using this tool report providing detailed feedback much more frequently on both graded and non-graded assignments to their students than a teacher not using Mote. So think about the capacity of your typing and how many words per minute you might type versus how many words per minute you may be able to speak. I'm a relatively quick typist. I can type maybe 60, 70 words per minute, but I can easily speak potentially double that in that same amount of time. So that's one huge benefit of audio feedback. Generating audio feedback was more efficient in a sense that it produced nearly 10 times as much per unit of time. And again, this comes from the Weathers Report. So think about that. It's not necessarily the case that we're always going to be saving time by using an audio feedback tool like Mote, but we can create more feedback, higher quantity in that same amount of time. And then if we tie the quantity of the feedback to the principles that we explored earlier in parts 3, 4, and 5 of this video series, now we have the ability to combine the skill of creating purely high quality feedback with a really powerful medium of audio to create even more impact on student learning and of course, get students closer to that learning target. We can see here some feedback from the Weathers Report on overall satisfaction of teachers using Mote to create audio feedback. Teachers using Mote had a much higher satisfaction with the amount of feedback that they were providing than teachers not using Mote. And even the frequency of their feedback, you can see 48% frequency versus 9.8%. So the overall quantity is hugely benefited by going down this path of audio. Let's stick with quantity a bit more. The amount of time spent by instructors supplying the feedback differed minimally, while the amount communicated to the students with audio feedback was significantly greater than the amount communicated through written feedback. So yeah, there's a learning curve to using any sort of technology. And the purpose of this video and this video series is to not say we're always going to be more efficient by using audio feedback versus typed feedback, but quantity of the feedback will absolutely be impacted. And we can, again, dig further into some research provided by the Weathers Report on the kind of the amount of words spoken in audio feedback and how that audio feedback, the quantity is going to be higher than in a traditional typed environment. Let's shift to the next of these 4 big ideas, which is quality. Now, the percentage of teachers satisfied with the quality of feedback that they are able to provide, again, from the Weathers Report, 48% of the teachers using Mote reported back that they were happy with the quality of the feedback, as compared to 10% of teachers not using Mote happy with the quality of their feedback. So if we pair quantity, the sheer amount of feedback provided in the same amount of time, with the quality of the feedback we can provide, and again, have the quality grounded in the skills and kind of techniques and approaches that we've explored earlier in the video series. And now we have a recipe to have a really impactful experience for the learner. Let's look at idea number 3, agency. So again, from the Weathers report, the percentage of teachers reporting high levels of efficacy by Mote use. So did it improve achievement via feedback? 96% versus 68% for non-Mote users. Did it provide individualized learning? 83% of teachers using Mote reported yes, only about half of teachers not using Mote. Again, further down this list here, students can care more about improving their grades, 71% versus 51%. So if we can create the feedback that's actionable by the student, that they can access, that we can remove any challenge around decoding, and often audio allows us to do that in a way that text simply might not allow us to do that. And now the student can have power and agency over kind of taking action with the feedback that we've provided. Again, sticking with agency, improve achievement via feedback. You can see Mote teachers are reporting a much higher rate, a much higher percentage on student achievement. And then we have another scale here. Know how to improve performance on the next assignment. Mote teachers reporting in at 88%. And I think this third idea ties really tightly to the last one here, which is tone. So far we've covered the sheer amount of feedback, the quality of the feedback, the agency by the learner to do something with that audio feedback, but tone can't be overlooked either. Written feedback can be perceived as harsh because there's no tone. They don't get to hear the voice, the intention, the emotion, the connection to the lead learner, the teacher who's providing that feedback. Also, further, audio feedback embeds the tone. It can help avoid miscommunication. It can provide nuance. Instructors can speak to their students as if they were face-to-face. So we might not have time in class to sit shoulder to shoulder with learners and go over the feedback we'd like to provide for them. But now we can create and kind of mimic that experience, provide feedback as if we are speaking directly to the learner the same way we might be able to do in a face-to-face setting, and they can hear the tone in our voice. We can avoid any misunderstanding simply by clarifying through audio. So that was part 6 of our video series, really exploring now, shifting the focus to exploring the benefits of audio feedback. And I'm really looking forward to exploring part 7, where we will dig specifically into Mote and the ability for Mote to provide really contextual feedback via audio right inside multiple learning environments where students might be engaging with work, where educators can provide audio feedback. So when you're ready to advance to part 7, go ahead and click on the link above, and I'll see you in the next phase of this Feedback Masterclass brought to you by Mote.